Hey guys, welcome back to Fecto Reviews. Today we are taking a look at the Kanger Protank 3 in-depth reviews. This might be a little lengthy, but bear with me. We're going to go through all the goodies, all the information, what I've found to work best with it, how to make it work as best as you can, and all that other stuff, how to fill, all that other good stuff. First things first, very good design. It's very good box design. It looks good. My first Kanger Protank. So I've been using it for about, quite some time now, and I got a little bit of experience with it, talked to some people on some forums. Anyway, the Protank 3. This clearmiser loves to flood. It floods very easy. When you get your juice down to about this level, it will flood. And it'll flood, and it'll come out the bottom, and it'll go into your battery, and it can ruin your device if you don't have a good one that has a seal to the actual connection. This one luckily has a very good seal, the iTaste VV version 3. So I'm going to go on ahead and go through how I fill this and all that other good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about it. You get your 510 drip tips, so you can very easily interchange that if you want to. Got a little bit of juice in there. Good to swab that out. You get a good 510 drip tip compatible, so you can put all your 510 heads on there, anything you want. It's not a very snug fit, but I haven't had a 510 that is super snug. This does move around a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but it does move around. It does have some play in it. It's fun. When you first get your Protank, make sure it is all nice and tight. Make sure, because you can take this whole thing apart, it all unscrews. Make sure everything's tight, and you should be good to go. This base is important. When you fill it, make sure this base is nice and tight. I'm going to go on ahead and refill this because it is due for a fill, because it is already starting to, I got a little bit of juice in there, but at that point, it's already flooding. I mean, it just floods. All it does is flood. But actually, I'm going to show you what to do if it floods. If you start getting the gurgly, the bubbly, gurgly sound, what you do in that case, you tip the thing upside down and you blow out the top of it. Blow lightly at first and then blow pretty hard to it. I just did it a little while ago, so it's not leaking too bad. And what'll happen, you blow lightly at first to get the majority of it out, and it'll actually go back into the tank. So you can save a little bit of juice that way. And then blow it hard, and it'll come out. You do need to have napkin, paper towel, whatever. That way you can wipe it up off your base. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fill it. I always fill it at this point, even if there's juice still left in it, because all it does is leak. Not leak, but flood. Get my terms right here. Take this drip tip off, set it down. What I usually do when I refill it, always go ahead and wipe the coil down. It's a nice coil. It is dual coil. I do like that. It's got excellent vapor production when it's working, when it's not flooding or being a gurgly mess. It is good. I mean, it does work. When it works, it works. It works really good, but it does take a little bit of a learning curve on making it work. Another thing about the Protank is never ever prime these Protanks. The second you start to prime it, it's just going to flood it horribly. I mean, horribly. And you don't want that. And it's probably going to flood after I refill it. So I'm going to show you what to do in real time, how to deal with that, so you can get the best experience possible. It is a pain if you're driving and it floods really bad. There's nothing you can do about it, because you gotta give it a little bit of attention when it floods. And obviously you can't do that if you're driving. It's not a big deal for me because I always keep spares. If I'm in a stoplight, I can always swap it out. So I always swab out the inside just a little bit when I refill. Get most of the juice out of there. Then refilling is simple. I'm using some blue ice from realejuice.com. I'm going to go ahead and link them down below. So look for that. And this is Dan's from Real Sig Review / Real Vape Review. This is his e-juice. Fantastic. I love it. And let's go on ahead and give this a fill. As you can see in there, you got two things on the side. And you just want to fill it You don't want to put anything down the center hole, so you just fill it there, and then just squeeze your juice into it, and if you got a nice bottle, it'll fill up real nice and fast, and then you just fill it to the top like that. By the way, this blue ice is a menthol blue raspberry, so it's very nice. After you refill it, keep it up, don't go tipping it or all your liquid's going to come out. Stick your base back in there and put it on there nice and snug. Nice and snug. Don't torque it down, but nice and snug. And after that, you're ready to throw your tip on there and go ahead and start vaping. So I'm going to go ahead and screw it on here. Now the power settings that I found to work the absolute best with the Protank is I have my power on 8 and I have my voltage on 4.2. Okay? So that is what works best for me, and I want to talk a little bit about this beauty ring before we actually attach the device. A lot of people think this is for aesthetics, and in a way it is, but this beauty ring also creates a controlled suction into the Protank, and that there can help you prevent flooding. If you are getting like really wet hits and it's just flooding really bad, go ahead and screw this thing down to your device nice and tight. I mean, obviously not so tight you can't get it off, but put it on there nice and tight. And go ahead and screw your device on there. Don't torque your device, don't torque the tank down, just until it naturally stops moving. That's as tight as it needs to go. Otherwise, you're going to run into some problems. If you're figuring out you're getting drier hits, this varies from device to device. Just back off this ring a little bit, back it off just a little bit, and then tighten your device back down. So that's kind of how to gauge that. Anyway, I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of vapor production off this, and if it floods, I'll show you how to deal with that, and it probably will. When I take a vape off of it, I always hit my fire button first, and then take a vape. When it works, it works. Oh, that's such a good flavor. Blue ice. I'll go ahead and set that right there. So it's a really good device. Take another pull off of this. Nice slow pull. So press the fire button. And should be good to go. Now the key to getting a good hit off of one of these Protanks is take nice slow pulls off of them. Don't take a hard pull. Don't hit it like a joint. Don't do any of that stuff. Take a nice slow pull, and that's how you get the absolute best body, vapor, flavor, and all that other stuff. So I'll go ahead and do it again for you. Good. When it works, and it works well. It ain't flooding yet, and I think it's because I've perfected the technique down. As you can see, there's just a little bit of juice down there near the battery well. You can kind of see it nice and shiny. I'll go ahead and wipe that off, see if there's a little bit of a difference in the camera. Kind of hard to pick up everything on the camera, but we'll do the best we can. Go ahead and swab this out a little bit. And yeah, a little bit of juice, no problem. But yeah, if you follow those basic guidelines, the Protank 3 is going to work pretty good for you. Like I said, if it floods, if you start getting gurgly noises, if you start getting bad hits, if you got a lot of juice in your battery well, keep an eye on that or you'll destroy your devices. Tip the tank upside down, blow through the mouthpiece, blow through it lightly, a little bit. Then once you start to hear the gurgling clear a little bit, start blowing a little bit harder, and then of course have a napkin or paper towel, wipe off the bottom. Now, after you do that and you screw your tank back on, you want to hold it upside down and take just a couple draws off of it. That way you can completely clear that coil of any excess fluid. So and then after that, should be good to go if you just follow those simple steps. Other than that, if it wasn't for the flooding, this would get a much higher rating, but as far as the construction and design, it looks cool. As far as it looks, 10 out of 10. I like it. Now, as far as the design, operability, simplicity of it, it does take a learning curve. This isn't a tank for a beginner. I don't recommend it for a beginner because you're going to get more trouble with it. And, you know, especially if you're just coming off analogs, you're going to go right back to them because it's going to give you a lot of problems unless you practice with it. I'd probably give the design out of it, because of the flooding, probably like a 6 out of 10. I mean, the flooding is a pain. If you're driving and it floods, it's a mess. But other than that, it's a good device. If this sounds like something you're willing to give a try and to pick it up, I know there's a lot of Protank lovers out there. You guys swear by these, and that's you guys the reason why I picked one of these up. And if it sounds good to you, give it a try. Give it a try. It should last you. All right, ran out of space for a second there. All right, but yeah, if it sounds good to you, pick one up, give it a try. And who knows, you might fall in love with it. Kind of on the rocks about it, but it's not bad. So as always, don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Stay juiced, vape on.